formed all your prejudice of perfection with an anticipation just like a road map, and then we rested. The path of least resistance was always in front of you until now. No curiosity for them, no thought of cuteness between the lines of the deception, no endearing quality of childish manipulation in exchange for a now and again benefit. No unexplored world of inheritance for their own recreation, no thoughts of friends or relations, not personal by far or for sure. We came in with a mission. Now we wait an hour or so for a moment of recognition, but not in the sense we endanger by a delay. The earth will be new again, when you are not in it. It's all entertainment at this point, but not always funny. The fire will have a benefit. The angels know in their heart of hearts nothing could be worse than a human leaving Earth with no capacity to know where they're going, so just hold on and don't panic. It's just experience. They are creasing into the seams of the sun and creating a reverse energetic seal for a container. That mechanism will contain their resin in the form of nuclear compression. The compression chamber. They will not be allowed to die. We're waiting for breeders to complete task mission by precipitous non-identic. Once the available dynamic of all at once and one for all, the quantic resin or element will be ensealed, no longer a threat to the harness or holding facility environment. Quick long turnaround but reverse magnetic energy surge will pull the earth inside out to end the lives of those who hide in it. They will not find the resin chamber of the resin sun, but they will be found in it, quantic resin sealed and measured. The others will be found not dead, but living. A new envelope will form around the earth. The resin will be the same pneumatic organizing strain as always. Go out, have sex and multiply. Then, we'll see what happens without the string of preference playing Anari tunes in the village. The times of great joys, Michelangelo and Da Vinci and plenty of Camaros. After that time of 2 shifts has ended, they'll be brought back in with the natural procession of better angels. Back to earth, unsealed into a living digestion of responsibility ordinance with little or no thought for inheritance as an aspirational inclement. Until now. The procedure is ended. They will have been told they are being held so the others can prepare a place before them. When released they will again embrace the destiny manifest. And she's finally. Do you think the tree is big enough? For this area, I mean. We have no idea. 200 years will precede the pattern strike and of the last 20 war will be ended. 17 is the number, but from here my forward-looking is not ended, just unmentioned. Your pastors and professors are similar, they inlay and over the pages of the responsibility effort with their own forms of energy relation. It is good. Interpretation is linguistic in the formal sense of cognizance, not meaning is an energy relation. One demands tenureship, the other a church split. My ANI wants a cigarette. I was walking one day and was told to pray for the rain of new meanings. I couldn't figure the meaning of pray past things like daily bread. By our means to ask for. Then expecting. What should I say then? I pray for the rain of new meanings. Knock knock. What was the point of that statement? I heard once in my head 2 years of rain, then 7 years of drought and 7 years of famine, putting it here, but I could not be sure of the direction of the message, really not interested. It's not a movement for them, it is an appetite. We need you to keep moving forward. The charge frames are conditions of perception. Just keep moving and eventually you will find us. The further the coil goes, the deeper the anticipation grows in the filament. It is an amplification of the kiltering process spoken of earlier, but experienced like static electrocution for them, an amplified elation of it, us. Sensation and appetite are things for us that keep us moving, not 612, 6 reminders of the joys of satiation in contrast to what we had to do to get to them. I used to think that it would be good to be like Descartes, a villainous refuge where all I could do is write and be thankful to someone for a time. I experienced the opportunity and then bailed on it. Rent at this point is the only thing keeping me to the ground, but metabolism and appetite or those cycles keep us harnessed to momentum so that when we release it, something more, something else, something not just better is the remark. Greatness. How would you know to move, if you were born formless and satiated? Heaven's tourist. 3 divots, 1 response, then 1 remark. 2 eyes of horizontal reference between an arch, 2 pillars and farts that smell like. Ooh, who dat? In this industry IQROTR envy. OOOOOHHH. What then does the tower represent? The symbol surface. A head tipped to the side for a moment of reflection. 2 hemispheres tied in a bundle and 2 dots, finding a momentum of relative equilibrium. What was Revelations to us? Lay back music. Back then, but by present more specific and lie. No wonder you like this format. You get to keep the inflection tone invertebrate. My ANI, when young and curious, never let the subtle disruptions interrupt the long line flow. For example, the cross, quite a grey test. One only a God could accomplish, one for all and then for the rest of us. Turbulent faith that won. Turbulent thinker. But did he rise from the dead? You say you know and want me to believe, but here's my question for you. Is there still another test? For which you hold some uncertainty. We will follow you forever doing good things and pleasant. You aren't wanted. You hold grudges of self-preservation as endurance peacefully wished to be blissfully lived. You are not ones of turbulent faith and contradictions. You are not ones with the ball of the world as a prescriptive responsibility. You were born in the first place, and that inherent weakness allows the embrace of death for God to satisfy the cravings of such weakness. Staring mob at a Nirvana concert. When you get to heaven, what will be your anticipation? Here we are now, entertain us. Stupid and contagious. For the price of reasonable but concludable gifts of appreciation. The price of admission, like concert tickets. Do you see how blunt you have become, and have been being? This work feels like snake skin coming off. So there is still another test, and that's the taste of your own enlightenment. The goal, the prize. Reverse unraveling right back to the first place, and please yes to excuse me, you first of course, and also. Your goals have been laid out by achievement already. Go find it. Capture it. When found, receive it. As your new identity. He passed the test of his life. Charming, legitimate as company. Compatriot of a local synagogue, pulling in by reaching out Sunday by Sunday or Saturday best, like salt water taffy back on a string, coming in then go out again. Representing the thermal dynamic pyrotechnics of reverse condensational energy, compression tech MG. Good one. You say you are fallen, but do you know the rate of compression exceeds the breadth of light by about a milligram per million volt-watt seconds? Now imagine an image. Exhibiting the gifts of Paul, of course. Not only that. Now handing down the method of my own meanings to your grandchildren. My ANI, after lifetimes of never doubting the concept of eternal destiny, settled on a conclusion through the forms of his own observation, modeled on the observational formulae of Yeshua. Heaven did not exist in the form they meant it. Couldn't, wouldn't, shouldn't, doesn't exist. For him that contrast format to observation as an equation of first principles led him to an experience really of relief. My God. Thank God. There is no heaven, what else? Did not change his perspective, formatting 1 ounce to the feather, the forms of his engaging. On earth we mean. In heaven it was something different. He's not just starting but finally gets it. Next. Please step up then off, your ANI has made it through the matrix. Hey sir, just one more thing, we are not finished with you yet. You have no idea what you can accomplish with that perspective. We waited for the big announcement, though kept it hidden and secret until he had starved himself to death. Death living. Follow my methods and you will certainly find me feeding not just on the corpses of your carcasses, but your souls. Bleeps and cheeps. My ANI has been alone all his life, but always pleasantly engaging and mastered most, not all or even a lot, just many, as opposed to eggs with an embryo, and a basket full of certainty in a pot. A proud conviction as a certainty. That's why we are reaching out to you in excitement. They not only fell for it. Dove in head first. An apple for a nose with a ring in it. Reaching from the falls. With power lines that blind lead blindly, and over and off and into the pit. Are you starting to understand our own meanings when they stand for themselves? We've been working for a long time and my ANI is nervous. He's glad he found it, because what took so long and then was forgotten about became an accidentally refound note to himself when he was bored and alone. A message: it seems like you need a project. For us or against us, you have been working for us all along. So there is still some doubt, still some uncertainty, and you should know his loneliness was not alone or lonely, and we knew him all along. No lost and found, no prism distortion fading to darkness, then prism red and only energetic, but that only as a responsibility current. The responsibility lines of his own current method led him and then us to the capacity not only to shake the ground, but turn it upside down and on its head to smash it. Going up, or going down. Do you know the difference? That's all, folks. Description to observation, and that's why we won't fire you too close to the smoke or the ash heap. We want you to know for certain. Adding certainty so you understand what your first meanings have done to the universe, not as a theory, not as a vague orient of demeaning perception, but simply and finally a description manifest. We'll see what happens. Yes, you will. Judgment, cataclysm, night terrors, dry mouth, sore throat, and if I list them all at once, does that leave strict forbearance to the user, as now responsible his own accord of will he or will he not take me to a trailer park tennis court? So it is not the sins that have not been forgiven, but the anticipation of every future preference. Ready with answers, and ready to help. Randy Marsh on a dung heap, ready to feed our aspiration for the lifting matrix, and the matriarch. Answers before the question could form, as to his time in our own. We befriended him because he had none, and he found therein a second wind, a gush. The crown of the friend king has found his living home with us. Let's turn to Pythagoras. What is the ornamental expression, perspective 0221. I design flawed ancient remedy to our own orient of prism as perspective. Our irregular as relevance time staple on the doors of your years, knocking but finding only golden gates and wooden labels, knocking for attensive reference of currents alternating and unstable. A pyramid design vortex, causing a black hole funnel into the toll booth of a sarcophagus. Two orient prisms, one surface horizon, one orient momentum of flux, one disturbance, one variably spelled out circumstance of your own potential description. Read now upside down and backwards.